how do we, our conversation, Michael, the last Smart Start meeting we had, what did we focus on?
We were talking
2 weeks
about
ago?
talking about that initial call, high points to, what were the high points we were hitting on that initial call?
Yeah. And I think the key was, how are you framing yourself for value? One of the things we discovered, and that I'm just really in tune with right now, is the challenger sale and the concept of what does a challenger do? And a challenger teaches, then they tailor, and then they take control. That's like the 3 T's of challenging. And I think the big thing about today that I want to talk about, Benton has put this Pathways meeting to real estate success. It's cool, Benton. You can do your thing. And I think that here's my thought. We're out generating new leads that don't know us from referrals through realtors or planners or whoever or past clients. And that's one of our jobs, is that brand new meeting. And then one of our jobs, obviously, is the consultation piece with the client. Then another one of our jobs is meeting realtors and financial planners, a lot of them brand new meetings, and presenting. So we've got this like brand new lead presentation on the phone, brand new lead physical presentation, brand new realtor presentation, and financial presentation. And then what? Well, we have something called clients. And then they become like past clients, right? And then we have this thing, or this belief, that past clients can just be maintained with automation and technology. And that's just not true.
Thank you, Rob. So, did you want
It's not.
You want to do the meeting here?
I hear you. Yeah, jump in there, Jesse. Sit on the casting couch with Grant. Here's the deal. When we think that HomeBot and whatever CRM we're using is our relationship management tool, we are full of garbage. We're selling ourselves that automation wins, and it doesn't win in this scenario. It doesn't create a relationship. So good things happen in desperation, right, Michael? When you're really bored, good things can happen. So I was sitting down with my planner, Trey. We meet every Friday, some way, shape, form. He's coming in at 12 o'clock today. And I started going through with him an assessment of his real estate, and then asking him questions about what he wanted to do in the future, and then kind of like organizing some other things in my head. And then Benton came up with an amazing, I think, name called Pathways, because everybody knows like a pathway leads you somewhere. And so we called, instead of saying we make annual review calls, or we call our past clients to check in, I said, why don't we have like an actual meeting where, if our goal is to maintain a lifetime relationship with clients, what are we really doing? Are we waiting for them to call us? Are we waiting for our CRM to like do something? Are we waiting for HomeBot? Oh, Michael and Allison have checked in on their home value at 123 Pretty Street in Georgia. Oh my God, Michael, Brendan here. It looks like you and Allison clicked a button. Hi. Oh, you're at 3.25%. You don't need to do anything. Oh, okay. Your value's gone up. All right, man. Well, just check in with me sometime in the future. If you ever need anything, I'm just gonna get back to my rate sheets and handing out rate sheets. I did HomeBot for 2 years. Yeah. You get engagement. By the way, you guys would get engagement if you took a twirler sign and said, I do loans, like the mattress stores with the pointer. You'd get engagement if you did that out on the street in front of your office. If you wore a hat that looked like a house and you walked around and said, I'm a mortgage lender, you'd get engagement. Rob, if you took a sign in front of your builder's building the day they're choosing lenders, and above the sign it said, pick me, in handwritten, it was a poster, and you held it up, you'd get picked to be the mortgage lender. Right, Rob?
Got that right.
Yeah. You guys are going to see Rob's name more when he starts crushing everybody with this builder volume he's getting ready to blow the doors off of, because each lender keeps screwing up. 1 of 4. Now it's soon going to be 3. Then it's going to possibly be 2. So here's the deal. The Pathways meeting. Benton, read the sub headline.
Pathways to Real Estate Success, a comprehensive real estate and mortgage planning guide for your next 5 years.
Okay, so here's the simple skinny. Ring, ring, or text Michael.
Hello, how you
Michael.
doing? Hey.
Hey, it's Brendan. How are you?
Oh, hey, Brendan. Doing good. How about yourself?
Good, man. Hey, I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I've been doing some meetings with past clients that they've found very helpful. I call it a Pathways meeting, and it's really like a 5-year planning meeting around your real estate and mortgage decisions over the next 5 years. I thought of you, and I wanted to schedule a time with you, either virtually, or I'd prefer, since you're local, you come in the office.
Okay. I'm not sure that I'm going to be buying anything in the next 5 years, though.
Yeah, it's totally not about that. What I
Oh.
found is this: most decisions happen kind of organically, and then all of a sudden it's a thing. And so I sat down with my planners and designed this 4-page kind of packet that we'll go through. It'll probably take 20, maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
And we'll just uncover future needs and then plan around that. I've got a calendar on the handout so that you can see what we'll go through. I think it would be worthwhile for you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Now, by the way, Michael, you're role playing with me. You're
Yeah.
super flat right now.
Yeah.
If you were a lawyer, Allison's a doctor, you guys had just left Rosemary Beach, you don't own a second home. She had mentioned, oh my God, I'd love to buy here one day. Both your kids are in college. You were like, oh my kid's up somewhere, and we thought about buying them a home. My aging mother needs to move here closer. Like, all your shit would go off in your head, and you'd go, oh, dude, man, no, seriously, Allison and I have been talking about all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, did I mention anything about your 3 1/4 30-year fixed rate on your house?
Nope.
No. About your future needs. And that's it.
Right.
I'm interested or I'm not. You can sell it.
Got it.
Hey, if financial planners have $1 million with you, you have $1 million with them, and it goes up 7%, how much money do you have?
$1,070,000.
$1,070,000. Hey, Michael, this is Tom over at Merrill Lynch.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, I wanted you to come in and let's do your annual asset review.
Can we do it over the phone?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to come in and show you that your million turned into $1,070,000.
Okay. Great. That's awesome.
Just say, hey, why do I need to come in and see that? You just told me.
Right. Why do I need to come in and see that? You
Yeah,
just told
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I saw it on the
Well-
statement.
Okay. So financial planners don't do that, ding dongs. They say, hey, Mike, I want you to come in with Allison. Your kids are getting older. You're empty nesting soon. I want you to come in. Let's relook at your plan. Let's see where your assets are allocated. We've got a 7% rate of return over the last year. I'm a little worried about the markets. I'd really like to update your will. I'd like to really look at like, hey, you're 50 now. Let's look at the next 10 years and see what that feels like. Hey, I'm no dum-dum. I know your income's down. Mortgages are down 70%. Let's look at that. And didn't you tell me you bought some rental property in Florida a year ago? Yeah. Let's talk about that too. But
Right.
it's not about the numbers. It's about the meeting. So, true story. Yesterday, took me 3 weeks to get a meeting with a client named Chris. Chris is a professional business coach. He brings in about $700,000 a year in revenue. He coaches some pretty awesome entrepreneurs. I don't know how many clients he has, like 20, 25 clients. And Chris was referred to me by one of my best realtors. I refinanced a property for him to lock down a rate, which he ended up keeping where he lived. He bought a $1.5 million home that's now only worth 2.3. He went under contract 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. He closed a year and a half ago. He canceled like 3 different times, and then he came in yesterday and we sat down and we went through this meeting. So I'll show you what it looks like. He walked in and I recorded it. It was like 40 minutes because we talked about a ton of other stuff. But I literally was like, hey, Chris, today is about your Pathways to Real Estate Success meeting. I have a handout, and we just say this is a comprehensive real estate and planning guide for the next 5 years. Are you ready to start? He said yes. Go to the next page, Benton. So this is our first, Benton. We haven't dolled this up too much or done anything. We kind of, like, it's not sexy looking. It looks like something that somebody in high school could put on a cool publisher document. Like, this isn't all dolled up. There's not too much technology here. So basically, all I did was I said, all right, and why can't I see? I have too many people looking at this. How do I can't.
Can you expand that a little bit, Ben?
Like zoom in.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is I just went through and said, hey, Chris, why don't we start with your primary residence? We're going to go through this, get some information. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. So really all we did is how do I get rid of this top bar so I can see what Benton's showing? There we go. Hey, and his property's on Shackelford. I said, hey, what did you buy it for? He told me, we went through these numbers: closing date, current value, mortgage remaining, mortgage rate. He was at, the rates had just started to go up. I think he got 4 1/8 on a jumbo loan at $1.2 million. His monthly payment is like $7,700. His principal per month is like $1,850. He didn't know. So I wrote that in: principal paid per month, $1,850 times 12, whatever that number was. Now, look over to the right: improvements made and cost basis. Why would anybody want to know that?
For
Any
tax
thoughts here?
purposes.
Gains.
Because if
tax
you make
pur-
improvements on top of the purchase price, now your cost basis is purchase price plus improvements made.
Absolutely. So he essentially put 300,000 down, financed $1.2 million. He told me his value is 2.3 to 2.4, and he's made 0 improvements. Which, by the way, one of the things that when he bought, just side note, he added a pool at the end. He had a separate contract with the builder for a pool. His price was like 145, and then, or it was 1.4, and then there was this pool addendum, but he was going to pay for it separately. And I was like, Chris, don't do that. Don't pay the pool out of pocket. Like, add it to the price, because whenever you go to sell, everybody's going to look to see that you paid $1.4 million when you really paid $1.5 million. So We merged it in. It was a pain in the ass. We had to get an escrow holdback because the pool wasn't done. But he was glad because back to what Jimmy just talked about, cost basis, you know, granted, he could have done it on a napkin and handed it to his CPA, but it's easier when it's all in that purchase price, especially when you go to sell it. So we go through, and then I did the cost basis, which was the same as what he paid for it. And then I calculated, I just said, hey, if you're worth, I did property notes there. I just said, hey, if you think you could sell for 235, 2.3 to 2.3 or to 2.4, I just did 6%, 235 times 94%. He'd net 2.2 million. He owes 1.15. So he's got, I kind of circled, hey, you've got over $1 million in equity right now. He looked at it. It was simple. This wasn't like rocket science, but it was nice for him to see it. I said, are there any other notes that we need to take on this property? Guess what he said? No one would guess what he said because he said, I miss condo living. This guy he's a little older. He's about 60. His second wife is 40. They have a 2-year-old child. He has kids off in college from his first marriage. The condo I refied for him was a high rise that's worth about $900. And by the way, we did that on the summary below. I've got an echo going on. I don't know why, but the summary we did is investment property. He's losing a little bit of money on it, but he said in his thing, so his total real estate value was 3.3, and his total real estate equity was 1.4 million. 1.1 on his house, 300,000 on his condo. His condo was cash flow negative, but his condo principal payment was $1,000 a month towards the loan. So we spent about 15 minutes going through this. His big thing was he missed condo living because all the stuff he has to take care of. He's got a new baby that's 2. He's got a pool, and he's like, man, I have to take out dead trees in this yard. And I was like, really, Chris? You live in a $2.5 million or $2 million place with a pool, and you're complaining about going back to a 2,000 square foot condo in a high rise. And he's kind of like, I'm warped, I know, but it was so much easier. So isn't it funny? So this is what I said to him. Do you want to move? He goes, no. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to flip the page. Here's the next page. And I was holding the thing. I wasn't letting him see the thing. And I said, well, let's just talk about the next 5 years. Obviously, you're not moving right now. You've got a great mortgage. You kind of miss condo living. You still own it, but you've got a tenant in it. Let's go through the rest of what's going on in your brain. So I just said, here's all I want to know. If I ask you a question, it's either a no or a yes. If it's a yes, I'll circle it and we'll talk about it more. So then I can't see the top because I'm scroll up a little. Benton. There you go. So what are you looking for in the future? Why are you looking? So Chris, do you want a bigger or nicer house? Growing family? No. Do you want to downsize? You're empty nesting soon. No, I've got a 2-year-old. I want a house in a better location or neighborhood. No, my location's great. I want to be in an area with better. No. I'm buying a house for elderly parents. No. I'm buying a home for one of my children and younger relative. Did I tell you that my son just got into the college at Charleston? No. Yeah, he's a freshman. And I'm from South Carolina originally, but grew up in North Carolina. He's got a big draw, like a North Carolina. He's like a North Carolina guy. Like it's like a syrupy draw. And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. And then he said, yeah, and I've been down in Charleston. I love that town. It's expensive as shit, but I think I'd like to buy my kid something if I could. Bingo.
Yep.
So I circled it. Do you want to acquire a piece of land to build a dream home? Nope. Do you want to acquire a vacation home with family? Nope. Do you want to acquire a rental? And I said, another rental property. And he goes, yes. If I can't do the South Carolina Charleston thing, I'm thinking about something here. So then I went and I said, scroll down. So I had 2 circles and I just said, hey, let's talk about what could get in the way. Change in your job or work situation. And he was like, I don't think so. I've got my clients. They're pretty happy. So we went through all of these and the answer to all of them was no. By the way, he laughed at inheritance and receive a large gift. And then he said, hey, with rental property, my wife loves managing my old condo. Like she's Johnny on the spot. So look at those. Change in spending habits, having children, empty nesting, inheritance, rental property issues, or other. So then I just said, hey, well, Chris, let's look at what we can work on. And then I want to take some notes. What's your current credit score? And he goes, well, I think it's 750 to 800. We skipped over that. Then we got to homeowners insurance. Well, kind of a weird story. The agent he was working with died. I knew the guy. Died of a drug overdose. He's like 40. It's a really sad story. He starts telling me that he had an issue with his insurance policy. And he's telling me like how he was trying to resolve it. And I looked and I said, well, Will died. And he looks up and he's like, no way. And he's like, he didn't know. This guy died like over a year ago, and his firm has been taken over. He was telling me this kind of nightmare customer service story. And then he goes, man, that makes total sense. Like I was dealing with this guy and then he goes, and I had texted Will and never heard back. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's kind of a sad story. He's got a young child. He was divorced. It's a weird situation. He immediately looks at me and he goes, well, I need a new insurance guy. So I texted him in the meeting, my insurance guy, they're meeting today. So I then said to him, well, Chris, here's the deal. Did you finish your 2022 return? He goes, yeah, I did that a while ago. I said, I don't want to pull your credit. Besides your 2 mortgages, do you have any debt? He goes, no, I have a car lease. It's $1,100 a month. It's a nice car. I go, all right. And he goes, and I pay off my credit card. Like my scores are good. I have 1 credit card for business and 1 for personal. I pay them off in full every month. I said, well, I need to see your 21 and 22 returns. Here's your homework assignment. I need you to get me a property that you might be interested in South Carolina, in Charleston. I go, any idea of purchase price? He goes, 800 to $1 million. I go, all right, well, I'm going to do a mortgage scale. And I gave him his homework assignments. And then we went back to talking about how the guy died. It was sad. We talked a little bit about some other things. And then I said to him, I did a little catch up on some clients he had referred me. And then I just said, hey, Chris, who's your planner? Like all this stuff, who's your planner? And he goes, oh, Marcus Henderson. I'm like, never heard of him. And he goes, oh man, he's great. He's in Brentwood. And I refer most of my coaching clients to him. And I go, I need to meet him. He goes, sure. So literally he had to leave. He texts me. I'll read you the text. Hey, Brendan, give me an intro sentence to send to Marcus.
Wow.
Then I said, hey, say this, Marcus, I want you to connect with Brendan. He's been helping me with my mortgages and real estate planning through the years. I just left a very valuable meeting with him and thought the 2 of you should connect. I think you guys could help each other. Well, mother effer. 2 seconds later, he sends that effing text to Marcus and me. Here's what happened, boys and girls. Marcus and me are meeting. And here's
Dang.
Marcus's reply. Let me find it because I'm just going to read. I can't make this shit up, can I? Where's Marcus? Where is Marcus? And together, Chris, Marcus, Chris. There's Marcus, Chris and Marcus. He copied my text and sent it to Marcus. Marcus says immediately, okay, looking forward to meeting him and sharing meaningful time. Marcus. Chris responds, 2 sharp dudes in one place. I give a thumbs up, and then I wrote, love it. Then I put, I'll connect with you, Marcus, on a separate thread. I text Marcus, we're meeting next week.
Wow. Dude,
Now,
that's
here's
awesome.
the deal. Here's the deal. How many past clients do every one of you have that you can take this meeting? By the way, nothing's perfect. Here's my new thought, Benton. With the We Can Help You, by the way, with insurance credit, there needs to be what we call, we're going to do one more page in here, and this is what it's going to say, Pathways Extra Credit. We're going to have one more page, and it's going to say, who is your financial planner? Do you have a will? Do you and your family do a budget? Because why not? Why not go all the way?
Yeah.
And it'll say Pathways Extra Credit. Like it's their benefit. Now, I'll guarantee you Chris has a will, but I'll bet you if I had the time and I just said, hey, here's the extra credit page. By the way, who's your financial planner? We would have had the conversation. I would have said, hey, does he do your will and all that stuff? And Chris, you seem pretty organized. Do you and your wife do a budget? And he would have said, hell yeah, like I'm on a tight budget. This guy's got his shit together. Lifetime relationship. Joe Stump talked about it. The Core talks about it. Other training programs talk about it. Everybody talks about it. Nobody does it.
Yep, that's true. 100%.
I mean, you guys, I love my family and my wife. Hold on a second. Christina, would you get your shit? Like, have you ever seen the people that say they love their significant other and treat them like absolute garbage? Yeah, then Mike, I know you and Allison, like I know that you treat her right. I just watched it. We're all full of garbage with our past client relationships, unless you're going deep. Now,
Yep.
I want to open this up for the next 15 minutes, and let's talk about this form. And Michael, anybody, I want you guys to I want to go through everybody on this call and talk about either an action plan, how to do it, what to say, what's in the way, who to call, how to do it. I want to get your excuse on the table, because if you don't talk, you're just like every other cubicle sitting Rocket Mortgage headset person. You're just doing loans forward. You have no relationship with your past clients. You just have a database saying, hi, Jim, Mike here. I did your loan 3 years ago. If you need my help, click a button. Hi, Jim, Mike here. It's my quarterly newsletter about nothing. Hi, Jim, Mike here. Mutual of Omaha bought Keller Mortgage. I thought you wanted to know. No, I don't give a fuck. By the way, this is the Smart Start call, so I can say F-bombs. I can't say it next week. So, okay, let's start with Amy. Amy, what do you think you need to do after seeing this to move the needle for you?
Well, this was eye-opening because I don't really do a lot of this. I do subscribe to HomeBot, and I think what I'm going to do is go through at least the last 12 months of closings for sure and go through this, because most of them will refi.
So one of the things I want you to do is maybe take a picture of the pathways or get the pathways packet and then just text it to people
Yeah.
and say, I'd like to do this with you. I'd like to complete this guide with you. Are you opposed? Would you be against it? Would you be against getting together with me for 15 to 20 minutes to complete this guide for your future needs?
Yeah, I
Pause.
would do it. It's good.
Yeah, pause. If we all got this call and it said pathways to a better HVAC system in your house, and an HVAC guy said, hey, I'd like to do a comprehensive look at your HVAC over the next 5 to 10 years to save you money, I'd do it. But why? Because I own 20 properties and every HVAC I own seems to break down all the time. My point is, everybody thinks about their future mortgage, Amy, and their future real estate, but it's buried somewhere. So this is, if we make this better, we're going to add more and more questions that elicit something, right? That elicit, oh, by the way, on there, we skipped over HELOC. Like a lot of people say, God, what else? Did we put it on here? Scroll up. Scroll down. Yeah, we left HELOC off. Do you want a HELOC on your primary residence? By the way, Chris has one, or he's getting one. So we could add that. Amy, good thought. Just, HomeBot, you're using it, but I poked fun at it because it doesn't deepen a relationship. It just lets you get an eyeball on your client. Andy, next. I'm going to go down the little list.
Yeah, I just think this, it's super comprehensive for, I think, the buyers who you already know, if you help them buy their first house, but they already had a mindset for scaling, it's a starter home, that they're going to be upwardly mobile. That's where my brain went for specific clients that are going to be the ones that are already texting me kind of random questions, where in reality, I could just say, hey, come in, like, I'll unload all your questions right then and there, and then maybe we could speed up the process for them to get their next property. So like there was specific people that I was already thinking about as you were going through this.
Yeah, and Andy, you don't know what you don't know. So the more it's just like, hey, it's a future guide for the next 5 years, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, but this is what I do know, Phil. You and your wife you're 31 and she's 30, and stuff changes. So I'd like to just, why don't you guys come in? It'll take us 20, 30 minutes. If it's just you, I think it would be helpful for you, and you can take the packet with you back to her.
Yeah.
Nice. April.
For me, I was thinking on Wednesday's call when it was talking about when Todd Godson was talking about calling past clients, but not necessarily going into anything that related to their current mortgage, but just like building relationship, warm touches. But then in this more detailed packet, I was wondering, should I do the warm touches and then maybe follow up a couple of weeks later with a text on this pathways thing, or would I just go in on that? That's really where my mind was. I was just trying to think about that.
All right. Can I help you?
Please.
You sure?
Go ahead.
No one wants a friend.
Gotcha. I wasn't
don't
trying
want
to
you
be their friend. I was just checking in.
But that warm touches and checking in is friend bullshit.
Okay.
You're a mortgage person. You know a
Yeah.
shit ton about real estate, credit, looking at income, helping them borrow money. You are an expert, April. You're like an underwriter. So
Okay.
go there.
Okay.
I don't want my pool guy calling me. Hi, Brendan, how's it going? I mean, yeah, I was noticing Christina was working out a little bit more. How's she feel?
All
God,
right.
hey, you had a couple cars out front the other day. Were you buying car? Hey, pool guy, shut up. Is my pool okay? Tell me if I need to do something with the Jets. Back off.
Gotcha.
Sell me a
I like
warranty
it.
program. So April, go for what you can do to really help them plan.
Okay.
And I don't know who you were listening to on Wednesday, but bottom line is I'm through about 20 of these, and I want to get through about 120 of them because these, by the way, I did it with all my planners that I know. So I think this is a go deep, and you got to put a little out there. It's a little risky for you to say, hey, come in and we're going to go through your future. Who are you to do that? Because otherwise we're just tiptoeing around. Hey, you clicked on my home bot. Oh my God, your rate's so good. Oh, get a home equity line. All right, thanks, click.
Mhm.
That's all the annual review program is until you introduce something new.
Gotcha.
Nice. Benton, no question for you. Brian. What
I
are
would
your
say
thoughts?
just kind of like what you went over with April, that that you're not there to make friends, but I think if you're straightforward and you add value and give them this time, it will be a warm touch. You're building that rapport. They'll come back. So give
Yeah,
them
I mean,
the goods, and they'll want to come back.
yeah, I think, remember in the Challenger sale, the Challenger has a different view of the world. The Challenger is there to teach people and then tailor a specific thing and then take control. The relationship builder in the 5 levels of sales is the worst performer. The relationship builder wants to be liked. They want to establish rapport. Doesn't
Mhm.
work in the modern world. We all have friends. Get to the point. Be
Mhm.
an expert at something. If you sat with Elon Musk, would you want to be a friend of his or figure out what's going on in his brain so that he can tell you, let's fly to Mars together? No, Elon, I want to be your friend, you prickly little pear that works 80 hours a day, that's a weirdo. No, just tell me about your billion-dollar company and the stuff that you really think about. Sorry, Callahan, you're not. Yeah, Dustin, give it to me. What are you going to do with this?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm half involved right now. I'm putting out 2 fires at the same time. I'm sorry. Can you skip me?
Well, let me say this. Okay, we'll hold on you. Gloracell.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So I want to link this back to the Smart Start meeting. Because in the Smart Start, you say, hey, my ongoing services that I commit to you is an annual review. This is what we
Yeah.
talked about. You've
Yeah.
now closed. So my commitment is an annual review. This is that process. And
Right.
link it back to, remember you committed to working with me and I committed to doing an annual review. Here
Yep.
we go.
Well, and I think that beautiful. Couldn't have tied it in any better. This is part of what I committed to you. I want to have this meeting with you. We call it Pathways. It's our 5-year planning meeting.
Yep.
So what are you going to do with it?
Well, I already have a list of all my past clients for this year. So I've got it set up in Encompass. So I can do a screenshot. It's got their names, emails, phone numbers, when they close, who they close with. So the list is already, essentially I just need to export it to a Excel spreadsheet and make my calls from there and schedule a meeting.
So here's my challenge to you, Gloracell. Who else could you hold this meeting for?
For anyone else that besides who I've closed? So that's a good question. Besides my closed clients, realtors, I guess, because I've got a lot of realtors that are looking into investment properties or investing on their own. So it'd be a great meeting for an investment.
Bingo. So why don't you call your realtors and your business sources on your accounts pyramid and say, hey, I just thought of you. I want to do this 5-year real estate planning review session and mortgage review session.
Got it.
I still got a guy that I've never helped him personally. I just did a bunch of loans for like a NHL player that's his client. He rolls with a lot of professional athletes, and I'm trying to either do a true planning meeting or I want to do a pathways meeting with him. He keeps blowing me off. Grant, what are you going to do with this?
Keep doing what I'm doing.
Have you done one yet?
Oh yeah, I'm closing 1.7 this month just off of this alone. So
Off this?
yeah,
Wow.
And you're going through the form?
everything with it. Yeah, Benton set me up, and we schedule we have a select time we text people, and we kind of start to create conversations. And yeah, I have.
Have you done a pathways meeting for someone that you didn't do a mortgage for?
Yep, I have one right now, Bethany Rail, and she's a realtor. I've never worked with her before on any other deal, and so we're closing October 10th. We did this thing. We created a goal, and she wanted to do a move up buy. So
Wow, that's awesome.
I don't really have anything else that I would want to change.
Benton, just do the testimonial. I mean, Grant's only 3 doors down. Hey, Grant, did you change the form yet?
No, I did not tweak it, BD. Come here, punch you in the face.
Inside joke.
I have not tweaked it. I like how it flows. Most of the ones that I've done, it's that they want to do something, they were just confused on how to do it. So
yeah,
and it was simple as get a HELOC and then move on. And I've got 2 past clients that we did it with. One just a family, and then another one is a influencer girl. And
yeah,
that right there alone is like 1.4 in volume. So
you know what's great about track athletes that run the 200 that work with you is when they get in the blocks and you say, here's the track, they just know how to run on the track. Great job, Grant. Keep
Awesome.
doing it.
That's awesome.
Jim, how can you implement this, or can you? Thoughts? You're on mute. Jimmy McCarthy. He went mute. John Houle.
I think it's good. It's got me thinking, there's obviously a whole different set of clients, right? Like contacting past clients that are in different situations. Mike conceptualized this past client call we started talking about a year and a half ago, where we're just offering an annual review. And it's kind of like that scenario you run through where an FA calls and says, hey, your portfolio saw gains of 7% this year. It's not that valuable of information. It's not enough necessarily to get them in for a meeting. But this opens up a whole threshold when you call to talk to people. Hey, are you thinking about investing in real estate? Do you not know how to do it? Does it sound interesting? Do you have questions? Yeah. I work with a ton of people that do it. Right. I set these situations up for people to be successful.
John, I love you. You know what you just did for the last 45 seconds? You reclosed yourself on the last 50 minutes of what we've just done.
Yeah.
So now you just validated this is good. So I'm going to ask you the question again. What are you going to do with this?
I think you got to take a look at the form. We need to digest it. We need to make a plan.
I don't want to know about you. I want to know what you're going to do with it. So say I'm
going to reach out to past clients and offer them the opportunity to come meet with me and learn more about how they can invest in real estate.
How many?
All of them.
Good. Well, hey, why don't you just start with 20 over the next week and try to get 5 meetings. Nice. Justin, what are you going to do with this?
Lowest hanging fruit is to text 15 to 20 clients that we've closed and start the conversation. Like Grant, sounds like that's all Grant did was text some people and make some calls.
Make the visual and then play it off like this. Oh my God, I just got back from a relationship development conference. Oh my God, I just got back from a real estate planning conference and I've got the world's coolest thing I want to go through with you. I think it'll really help you and your family. McCain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that many past clients right now, but I think that, there's a handful that I'm going to go ahead and schedule on their 1-year anniversary to reach out to. But other than that, just think about it. I have a handful of my parents' friends that come to mind that are
Sure.
business savvy, and they could use something like a Pathways meeting just to kind of sit down and go over what real estate they have and are they trying to build in the future. So I have at least 5 names that come to mind that would definitely be open for a meeting.
Ready? And here's another opportunity for you. Hey, my name's McCain. Hey, you're a realtor. Hey, I saw you on MMI. I saw you on a billboard. Hey, one of the things that I thought, I just have done this for some of my past clients, and my whole office does it. We just got back from this conference. We do a 5-year real estate planning guide and mortgage planning guide that's pretty comprehensive. Would you be against me showing you that in your office?
Yeah.
Mrs. Realtor, Mr. Realtor?
Absolutely not. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, put it this way, it's a sales pitch for a meeting versus a product.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Michael Anthony, what are you going to do?
So I said 50, but look through my database, because I think my challenge is I've got a 1,500 person database, but I'm going to go through it and pick my VIPs, right? So pick my top favorite 20 clients, and then also 20 non-client VIPs, financial planners, realtors, etc. Set the meeting. My only question is this: do you text them the whole PDF, or you just text them the front cover page?
I've texted them the whole thing, and then say, hey, when can you come in and meet? We'll go through this packet. Who knows if they even look at it?
Got it. I was going to say, if you
And
text the whole
Michael-
thing, do you give it away? Like, in other words,
Yeah, I agree with Michael.
I don't know. Or do you text this the front page? I don't know.
Text the front page. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
You're Michael. You're
But-
Michael Anthony, dude.
But honestly, like before, when we were talking about this concept, I was sort of like, huh, interesting. But when you did the call today, you passed out a referral to an insurance agent. You just met a stud financial planner. So if nothing else happens from that meeting, you know.
Well, and by the
look
way,
what
I'm going
you
to run
did.
a mortgage. I'm going to run a mortgage scale on his South Carolina purchase for his son.
Right, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
but even if that hadn't happened, you still got a ton out of it, right?
Yeah.
Just by having the meeting.
It's
Yeah, and
always
he
the
came-
results that you didn't expect from the meeting. That's what
100%.
Brendan found. Yeah.
100%. Right.
Natalie,
and then
what do you-
Grant's stories, that's awesome. Grant, kudos.
Thank you.
Really good.
Natalie, what are you going to do?
This whole call was a huge amen. I build the relationship, I make the friend, and I need to stop on that and be more of the advisor as a continuous follow through. So I think this is your quote unquote warm touch. I am going to definitely use this as my follow throughs on being their mortgage advisor for life. Because you do the big amen at the closing and everything's great. And then it's, what are you going to do with that? You worked your ass off to get them to trust
Sure.
you to that point, and then you just drop it. And that's
Yeah.
where I fail.
Well, and let me say this, I think great point. I also think this, that if any of you have really lost touch with people, no one wants to do an annual review with someone they've lost touch with. No one. You know why? You feel guilty. So, hey, Bob, Betty, Michael, hadn't talked to you in ages. Hope you're well. I'm sending you a little outline of what I've been doing for clients I helped decades ago, you included. You know what? You were so great to me in the limo ride that lasted for 30 days that I forgot about you for 7 years. Now, we're not, Michael, Natalie, let's go after the low-hanging fruit, like Justin said. Send the text to the people you like. Get into this to where it like can create some momentum. Nobody wants to call a bunch of clients or text a bunch of clients you didn't even like. So I want you guys to go after the nicest people that go, absolutely, let's do this. And then you build that. You're actually like, I'm having a non-demand sale meeting. Like they didn't call me about a mortgage. I called them about planning, and something good could happen from it. Parker, what are you going to do?
Okay, well, I'm obviously new, so I don't have a lot of past clients, but I can see the value in this as I just recently closed a client that is an investor, so I can use this as a tool to approach him to sit down and plan the next 5 years of what it looks like for him to invest, which would be great because he's already talking about possibly looking at other properties already. And then also I have more agents on my side than I do clients. So there are a lot of referring partners there. So this is something that I've already kind of had in the works that I'm looking at as an investor, like say class or anything like that. But this, I will use this to get an in, like a reason to call. Because, you know, nobody wants that call. Hey, I'm your mortgage broker. Where's my loans at this month? Right.
Right.
So instead of trying to come at it, like you said, it's not about the sale, it's about the meeting, right?
Parker, do you own any investment properties?
Currently, I'm building. So once I do, we do have plans to start investing. Yes.
So here's any new realtor that you're hitting on. Here's the script. Hey, Parker, it's Parker. I know we have the same name. It's kind of weird. I was thinking about this. I just left this conference where we went through a planning guide, and me and my wife, we're building a house right now. And it kind of, this planning thing that I was at, it made me realize, like, it took me a while to make the decision, and there was some build up stuff. And so I don't know, you're a realtor. Here's my assumption. Over the next 5 years, you probably have some real estate goals yourself. And that real estate goal might involve a mortgage. So I'm going to send you this cover, and it's called a Pathways meeting. And I want to walk you through it.
Right. Yeah. And show them the pathway.
Just show them the cover.
Show them the pathway.
The 5-year real estate and mortgage planning guide.
And then you just kind of get together, set goals, build relationships.
Correct. Hey, so where do you guys live? Oh, we live in Brentwood. Well, okay, let's go through your Brentwood house. Do you guys own any rentals? No, I've always wanted to though, Parker. It sounds so cool. Okay, well, let me ask you these other questions. And then the other questions are going to reveal something, which is, I really want to buy an investment property. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. Somebody dropped below Parker. I don't know who it was. I didn't get a chance to call on him.
Can I just say something real quick? Anybody who
Sure.
is interested in getting this packet, just shoot me a quick message via email after this, and I'll get the packet to you. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't customize it with pictures and all the stuff that we did, like with Smart Start, because Smart Start, remember, they're meeting you for the first time, and it's kind of like, here's your brand. This is more for them to take. We could maybe do it, Benton.
We actually did.
We did?
The last page has a picture and everything, but that's not hard to do. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
looks good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So the homework assignment is whatever you told yourself you're going to do with this, do it ASAP. This is deepening relationships, and this is where this is our requirement right now. Oh, Sam was the one that dropped off. So I think 2 weeks from now, we're going to roll out something that we've been working on. That's like a planning meeting with a realtor, but not a past client kind of 5-year vision. It's going to be more for their business. Sam, how can you implement this? He can't talk. He's closing on some big deal. There's oh my God, guys. Do you know Tom Schnellenby? He is the Keller Williams guy. He closed 4,886,000 deals last year. And one of the things I'm working on right now is a joint venture with him and France, the entire country of France. Look, he's laughing. He's like, okay, be quiet. All right, guys, I think if you can have a good meeting, what I'd like for you to do, Benton, if we see everybody on here, somebody just report the details of that meeting to Benton so we can do a recap 2 weeks from now. If someone had a breakthrough and got the meeting, I'd love the feedback, because I think hearing the loop and knowing that this is happening and that people are taking action is like, that's the key. You know, you plug that in and you get that response that, hey, if I take a little risk and it works for me and it develops something, like I'm looking totally forward to meeting this Marcus guy.
2 week,
Michael.
2 week recap for sure.
Yeah, and here's the irony, Michael. I'm going to try to get Marcus on Monday or Tuesday. When we're done, I'm going to shoot him like, when can we meet? And then we have a financial planner meeting in the event center next Friday, an event for planners that we're trying to get 20 or 30 planners. So it's pretty easy for me to meet with him. If the meeting goes well, I'll be like, hey, do you want to come Friday to our big event? And then he'll be like, where has this mortgage guy ever been? Like, this guy's, you know, he's working with Chris. Like, I'm getting luckier because I'm putting myself more out there. And all of you guys, it's the same. You know, when you're active and you're doing more shit happens.
Yep, for sure. Get out of your own way and just do it.
And Mike, before I forget, I need to buzz you about this afternoon.
Yep.
We're on.
All right,
Double secret call. Nobody else can know about it.
Call me afterwards.
All right. None of you guys heard a word of what we just said. All right. Goodbye.
Hey, listen, great call. That was awesome. Thanks, Brendan.
It was great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.